So I tend to throw the word icon around a little bit, but it is impossible not to today because my guest is not only the star of a sitcom for 9 seasons, but she also starred on one of the most popular and my favorite reality shows of all time. And she also just happens to blow dry the most amazing hair ever in the opening credits of that sitcom. Please welcome from Facts of Life and Survivor, Lisa Whelchel.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you.
I've never been kind of heralded for my blow drying skills.
Yeah, well, I mean, you should be. And your hair has not changed since that day you did that.
Oh, thank you. And this is like 3 days without washing, just a little
okay.
between you and me.
Well, we're on about 4 days here, so I love it.
Well, I do remember meeting you before, and I said, you've got great hair.
I've been blessed. That's like the equivalent of going to church for me.
Okay, tell me about that.
I was blessed by you with good hair, then that'll probably go on my tombstone. So I hope that doesn't creep you out.
So funny. I like that. A hair blessing. Keep that in mind.
So if someone had told 10-year-old Justin, one day Blair Warner from The Facts of Life is going to be on your pink couch, I would have asked, why is my couch pink? And then I would have freaked out. And this is just amazing. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your day to come and do this. It's a little YouTube show.
My pleasure.
That's so
good
wonderful.
To meet you officially, not just your hair.
Thank you. And I'm so nervous, but I'm gonna be relaxed. So.
Okay, I'm hot. I don't know if it's because I'm in your presence or it's because it's 108 degrees.
It is 108 degrees in California right now, and it's awful. And we just turned off the air conditioner, and I'm realizing it's awful.
So
Are you gonna be
Blair would say she's glistening, and I'm saying
you're not
sweating.
wet. I'm watching you. You look fine. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I'm
okay.
good.
All right. So let's go to the beginning.
Okay.
10 years old. Well, not the beginning.
Not the beginning. You're 10 years old or my 10 years old?
You're 10 years old.
Okay.
You're in Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no, you're 12 years old when Disney comes calling.
Yes.
The Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, and not the Mouseketeers from the 90s. They had Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Ryan Gosling, Carrie Russell. It's just, you name it. No, this was the Mickey Mouse Club from the 70s. We often refer to ourselves as the Forgotten Mice. But there really was a mouse club in the 70s, and they did a nationwide talent search, and I auditioned, and that's what moved me from Texas to California to be on that show.
At 12 years old, are you seeing stars in your eyes, or are you...
I'm seeing ears in my eyes at that point.
Exactly.
It's all about the ears.
But this is a job, this is business, this is something that I'm going to go out there and, be grounded about, or are you in the mirror accepting awards like every little girl, just with visions of Hollywood in your eyes?
It's both. I decided when I was 8 years old that I wanted to be an actress, and I very specifically remember watching kind of Wonderful World of Disney, and there was a child actress on there in a movie, and I remember telling my mom, that's what I want to do. I don't want to wait till I grow up. I want to be a child actress. And so even though going to be on the Mickey Mouse Club, it wasn't like just a job. Of course, it was something I loved to do and aspired to do. But it was a career that I had planned for 4 long years, that I wanted to be a child star.
And it feels like Facts of Life just landed in your lap. I'm sure there was what was the gap between Mickey Mouse and...
I did Mickey Mouse Club at 12 and 13 years old, and then
16 at Facts of Life.
16 Facts of Life. But in between that, I did a couple of movies that went straight to video, and a couple of guest starring roles. And so when they were casting the Facts of Life, they wanted a fast-talking girl from Texas, and they called me. It seemed to be the fit. But then there was a line reading that I read a little bit more like the way Blair evolved into, and so they rewrote the character for that line reading, and that's how Blair was born.
To make you from New York, kind of more of a socialite, right?
Yeah.
Did you do a New York accent?
I did not, no, and every once in a while the Texas accent would come through, which was a little weird.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you kind of have that Southern-ish, Midwestern-ish kind of charm, but you carried the New York thing so believable.
There really was something to... When you embody a character, everything does change. And so, I don't dress like Blair. I don't, for instance, I've got some heels on right now, but I just changed out of my sandals. I'm driving in my sandals. And so this is a costume right here. I would be in my Crocs and in my sweatpants and t-shirt. So
I'd probably be in heels too, but, I just thought since you were here, I was like, no, I'm going to go barefoot.
You can try this on. when I put the costume on, which was heels and a fancy dress, and I had my hair all done, there was an embodiment of that character. And my accent didn't completely go away, but it wasn't quite as prominent as when I would just get relaxed and casual, maybe talk on the phone with my parents, friend back home, I'd slide right back into the Southern.
Like you just did. Slide right back in. I love it. Oh my God. Now, I know it's cliche to ask this, but did you girls really all get along?
I mean, certainly it wasn't all, apple pie and cotton candy. We were 4 girls that were more like sisters. And so I think that's probably the best way to imagine it. We were like sisters. And so there was, cat fighting, and there was, just being snippy. And of course, that certain time of the month, it would be elevated, that everybody kind of knew to walk on eggshells. But really, we all, that didn't last long. We all made up and were really, really great friends.
Please tell me if you write a tell-all that you'll call it Not Apple Pie and Cotton Candy. It's like the best title ever. No, it's... Because
if I were to write a tell-all Not Apple Pie and Cotton Candy, it would probably be a very small book.
A pamphlet,
yeah,
right?
A pamphlet.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, I know that you get asked so many questions about Facts of Life over and over and over and over again, but it's just great to hear that you guys have that.
And we still do. Yeah. We actually all get along and enjoy each other's company and stay in touch.
Well, Mrs. Garrett, I mean, Charlotte Rae, incredible actress, fantastic actress, and you just went viral with your selfie
Isn't that
pic.
Funny?
Did she know what a selfie was?
I don't think so. I said, can I take a selfie of us? And she said, well, what? Can we take a picture together? Oh, of course. And then I said, can I put it on Twitter and Facebook? She said, oh, yeah, I'm on Facebook. My granddaughter signed me up.
So cute. That's so cute. Now, you're very well known for your deep-seated religion, and that actually played a very crucial role in your decision to not participate in an episode where the writers wanted your character Blair to lose her virginity. So they rewrote it, and Natalie lost her virginity, but you didn't even appear in that episode. I mean, you were that strong in your convictions on that.
Yeah, I was. And it was more about the fact of I had a real sense of responsibility for the young girls watching the show. Mm-hmm. So even though originally it was going to happen, I think, in the 2nd or 3rd season, and then ultimately Natalie's episode was in the 9th season. So even though we were in college, there were 8, 9-year-old girls watching the show, and they didn't think of us as, they're not going to, she's actually 23 years old or whatever. And so it was just a matter of sense of, I know there are 8, 9-year-old girls, and I know that the message is going to be that, of course, that sex before marriage is just a normal facts of life, and everything's good as long as you practice safe sex. And then within 17 minutes and a couple of commercials, we would have a group hug, and next week it would be about, Joe buying a new motorcycle. And that's just not reality for an 8 or 9 or 10 or 11-year-old girl really processing that decision for herself.
Now, I know you've addressed this a million times over the years, but it's still such a very important issue in today's society, especially in young girls. But your cast was constantly fodder for weight issues, and your own producers notoriously and very publicly wanted you girls to lose weight, which had to be awful.
As it turned out, it was difficult because it made sense why they were upset that I was gaining weight, because they had cast me to play a character that looked a certain way in order to pull off certain lines. So it made sense. I understood it. I never begrudged them realizing this is a business and we've invested in you and to play this part. When I really wasn't able to lose the weight and keep it off during those years, I mean, eventually did, but that had more to do just with outgrowing the hormonal stage. Yeah. Then it actually, I think, turned out better than we could have imagined. In hindsight, we were more relatable to the everyday girls at home, and I don't think we continued to perpetuate that lie that you needed to be a size 2 in order to be beautiful or popular or liked or have friends.
And timely enough, Joan Rivers, who passed away a few months ago, very famously referred to your cast as the fats of life after you appeared at the Emmy Awards. And I defended her because I really respect her and love that brand of comedy, but that's because I can also differentiate between comedy and what someone's intent is. And I think in this situation, it was just a chance to make a silly pun and a bad joke. But on the flip side of that, I understand that there are real human beings involved. And in this case, girls with body issues, and that had to hurt.
Yes, and I totally agree, and that is completely 100% true, and it does hurt, and it did hurt, and especially as a teenage girl who was already feeling ugly and fat and like I was letting the world down. At the same time, I signed up for a business. This is a business. That's not a commentary on, I don't think, who she is in real life. She's playing a role.
Yeah.
And that is a business. And so if we meet in the business part of it, I'm an actress, she's a comedian, then you know what? We were on the same playing field. And it wouldn't be fair for me to respond from a personal place when she's speaking from a business place. Now, if we were meeting and both of us in a personal place and she said, hey, aren't you on the Facts of Life? And there was no cameras around it, that would just be cruel and mean. But that wasn't the context.
Now, your character and Nancy McKeon's character, Blair and Joe, were essentially, I mean, come on, a married couple. Love, fight, love, fight, love, fight, protect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Push, protect.
And our relationship in real life has continued to grow and get closer. And we've gone through lots of stuff together. And she's been there for me, and I've been there for her. And you know, she was there in the hospital with each of my kids when they were born. You know, holding them when they were newborns. And so it's continued to be a very close relationship.
That's so wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
That's what we want, and that's what we all picture and we hope. But how about today? Do you think that if Facts of Life were on the air today, that Joe would still be just a motorcycle-loving tomboy or just a full-on lesbian?
That's the episode from season 1 where Blair accuses a girl who's a tomboy.
Cindy.
Yeah, Cindy. And so I guess, you know, we could either deal with it that way, if you just can't judge a book by a cover, or you can deal it with another way by, hey, open the book, you know, read the book and enjoy it for what it is. So there'd be either two ways to go with that storyline. I think both would be important.
Well, girls can get away with being a tomboy a little bit more, whereas males, if you're girly or effeminate, you're pretty much labeled gay right away, especially in film and TV.
Yeah, and I don't know, because I grew up, you know, I started musical theater when I was 7 years old. So, you know, for me, I mean, I've been around effeminate men, both homosexual and heterosexual, all my life. And, you know, I don't know that you can just say, oh, yes, that, him, her, no, whatever. You know, it's too nuanced than that. And so I think it's actually better just to, you know, not point big fingers and judge and label and just accept completely, oh, I really like this person. And that was pretty much, that was very easy for me, just because my friends had been a variety of sexual orientation since I was little.
Well, how could they not be, especially in the entertainment business?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just everywhere you look. And, you know, there is that kind of stigma with people who are very heavy into their religion, that there's some sort of...
unfortunately. And you know what? For good reason. I mean, it's not like, it's not like there are some very loud voices that, you know, wear the one-way Jesus shirts and point fingers. And so, sadly, you know, that is the voice, and that's the poster child for Christianity and the unacceptance of people that choose differently, and or born differently, because even that you have to be careful with, saying choose differently. You know, that's a electric rod right there. And so I'm sorry about that, and I'm sad for that, because, you know, that of course is not at all what Jesus taught. He taught us to follow him, and he was, he never made a deal about it. And if he did make a deal, it was about acceptance and love and grace. And so I'm sad that is the stigma that, you know, Christians have deserved, unfortunately.
Okay, moving on before we melt. After the Facts of Life, you take a long break and you raise an entire family. And then one day, I'm standing in line at Starbucks, and my friend Ross texts me, and I remember this very vividly. He texted, "Do you know that Lisa Whelchel is going to be on this season of Survivor?" I was like, wait, Survivor? Wait, what? But it fit. It made perfect sense.
See, nobody else would have guessed it would have fit. Tell me how you knew that it would fit.
Because, you know, it didn't come across to me as this desperate attempt from a Hollywood actress trying to reclaim any kind of spotlight. It seemed to me, especially in episode 1, that you were a genuine fan.
I know, I've watched every season, every episode, huge fan of the show. And truly, if I were to have made a calculated decision to re-enter show business, I would not have done it through a reality show, because I wouldn't have wanted to be pegged that way. So that wasn't the thing. It was the fact that I had wanted to do the show from the very beginning, but I couldn't when my kids were little. And then I travel around and speak, and most of the events are booked a year in advance, so I couldn't have just kind of said, oh, I'm not showing up, I'm going to be on an island. And so the planets aligned, and this was the perfect time for me to be able to do it. I was free, and so I made my little homemade audition video, and I put it on my Twitter account and asked everybody to retweet it and @ReplyCBS and Mark Burnett and Jeff Probst. And it got on a bulletin board, and a casting director saw it and said, okay, do you want to come audition? And I flew out to California to audition. I was still in Texas at that point. So it was very genuine. Oh my goodness, I'm getting to play this game that I love.
Well, in the beginning, I was a little scared. I didn't know how far you were going to make it, but you slayed them.
Well, I don't know about slayed them.
You slayed them. And I say you got second place on Survivor. Okay. I say you got second place because I know you tied, but I say second place because you won what I think is the most important thing on that show, and that is fan favorite.
For one thing, it helped me to move out to California, which I was grateful for. I was grateful, too, for my Twitter and Facebook following, because I think that made a big difference too. I was able to say, hey, vote for me.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we hadn't seen you in a while, so I started watching the show going, please don't be crazy. Please don't be crazy, nutty lady who's just and it could not have gone, I couldn't have scripted it better. You just had this genuine honesty and such a vulnerability that made you an incredible joy to watch. And it's just incredible. I mean, you played it just brilliantly.
You're so sweet.
You played it brilliantly.
I don't know if I played it brilliantly.
You did.
Because there was a lot of internal conflict. I think I would play the game better if I went back, except I don't ever want to go back, so.
You wouldn't?
No.
No All-Stars.
No.
Blood versus, you had your time.
I had my time.
You had your time, and you're
and
done.
I learned a lot, and I'm glad I did it. It was a great experience, but.
Well, I would love to see you play again, so hopefully you'll change your mind, but in the meantime, what's next for you? What's on the agenda?
I would love to get another sitcom. I'd love to do a sitcom with my daughter Clancy, but I'm also doing some work with the Hallmark Channel. So movies and backdoor pilots for a 1-hour series for them. So and I'm creating it. So we'll see what shows up.
Okay, well, if you could write yourself into any sitcom that's currently on right now, which one would it be? Do you have a favorite?
I love Modern Family.
Yeah? Yeah,
I mean, I think that's classy and excellently done, incredible acting.
Do you know who plays the grandma on that show? She plays Ed O'Neill's ex-wife.
I don't know.
Shelley Long.
Oh, yeah, of course you're right. I've seen her, of course. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm not the super fan. You are, but I have seen her on there. So yes, you're right.
She's great on that. That's a great show. All right, Lisa. Well, sadly, our time in this sauna has come to an end, and I love to end each episode with either or. It's very simple. Bacon or eggs?
See, I'm a non-dualistic both and kind of girl. Okay. So this is going to be difficult for me to answer either or, because I've so gotten away from either or thinking. And I do love bacon and eggs. But if I had to choose, I would say eggs.
Okay. Waffles or pancakes?
Oh, man, you're mean. Pancakes.
A watch or a clock?
Watch.
Peanut butter or jelly?
Peanut butter.
Flannel pajamas or silk negligee?
Flannel pajamas.
Mrs. Garrett or Beverly?
I am not going to answer that one. Well, yes, I will.
Character.
Mrs. Garrett. Well, no, not even character. I will say Mrs. Garrett.
Okay.
I'm grateful to Charlotte for so much.
Joe or Natalie?
I'm not answering that question either.
TV star George Clooney or movie star George Clooney?
Oh, movie star.
Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
Neither.
Disco or rock and roll?
Rock and roll.
Hollywood sign or Walk of Fame?
Hollywood sign.
Romantic picnic or romantic stroll?
One involves food. They're both romantic. I'm going to go with a picnic.
Okay. Jaws or Jurassic Park?
I'd say Jaws because I was little and it was very impactful.
Massage or mani-pedi?
That's a toughie. Can I have both at the same time?
Not on this couch.
Okay. I'll have to go with mani-pedi then.
Reading or writing?
Oh, reading.
The Facts of Life and Other Lessons My Father Taught Me by Lisa Whelchel? Or the Bible?
Oh! Listen, I'm no fool. I'm not going to say my book over the Bible.
You've got to promote yourself. Come on. All right. Fair enough. I love you for that. Me or Oprah?
Oh, I'm good.
She's not watching, don't worry.
I know, but I'm going to have to be honest. I love Oprah.
I love you even more for that.
I'm a big Super Soul Sunday fan.
God, I love you for that. Dick Clark or Ryan Seacrest?
Oh, Ryan Seacrest.
Okay. Candles or incense?
I love incense, but they give me a headache.
Okay.
So I go with candles.
Duct tape or Scotch tape?
Oh, duct tape.
70s or 80s?
80s.
The View or The Talk?
I have to say that the Talk, only because I don't like a lot of opinionated arguing. And I mean, they both have an element of that, but I think The View seems to be a little bit harsher.
Lemonade or iced tea?
I'm from Texas. I'm going to go with sweet tea.
Christmas or Easter?
Christmas.
And lastly, a pool or the beach?
I like the idea of a pool. We had a pool when my kids were little and had a lot of pool parties, and some of the best memories from when my kids were little were around the pool.
Simple and easy, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Fun, right? You learn a lot about somebody.
Yeah.
Learn a lot about somebody.
Can I take that?
Take it.
Because I want to take it. I wanted to play this with some of my friends at home.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, I like that.
I love it. All right, that's amazing. All right, I heard a rumor that you were offered the part of Rachel on Friends and turned it down.
Okay,
Is that
you know
true?
what? That is, it's kind of one of those half-truths that become an urban legend, in that I was offered the opportunity to meet for the part of Rachel.
Okay.
And that they had filmed the pilot, and the actress that was Rachel, they had decided to replace for the actual series. And so they sent me the script and asked if I would come into NBC and meet regarding, the possibility of playing that part. When I read the script, I thought it was just one of the funniest scripts I've ever read. But I could also tell it was all going to be about, just sleeping around. And that's still not something that I think is actually a great way of life, because, I'm still feel like just sleeping around is probably more detrimental than good. And so I thought, I probably better not jump on the show, because I don't know where it's going to go, and I can already tell it's probably going to go in places that don't feel comfortable.
Thank you so much for coming. You guys, I want to thank Lisa Whelchel, and I want to thank you all for watching. Please make sure you check out everything related to Lisa. Go to her website, lisawhelchel.com. Follow her on Twitter and Instagram. And if you haven't yet already, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. And I apologize for the sweat and the wetness. I love to pretend that we're saying something so important when the music plays.